Today I'll start by sharing how I got my first ever internship before entering college, and then I'll talk about the important things I've learned in my experience. It all started in January 2021. I was a high school student who just finished my A-levels. No CS background, no work experience. I began by being very loosely selective with the companies I applied to because hey, I'm a nobody and beggars can't be choosers. Scrolling LinkedIn searching for jobs also resulted in me seeing tons of profiles of people with like 3 to 5 internships who are competing for the same positions as me, and honestly I was like so afraid to even try at that point. But you know, as they say, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So now I'm taking a shot again and asking you to please subscribe if you haven't. Anyway, back to the video. I knew that I had to quickly get 2 things out, some projects to show for and a resume. For projects, I believe that websites are easier to create as a beginner, so I went to search for full stack roles and took note of the technologies these companies use. I had a hackathon project in the past, so I spent some time fine-tuning it to be showcased on my GitHub and watched some YouTube tutorials to brush up on my web development skills. So my resume started off looking really complicated like this, but after scrolling random forums and lurking around tech communities for online advice, I simplified my entire resume. And it looked something like this when I applied. Till this day, I still use this template because nowadays there are ATS that automatically passes your resume and unconventional designs might trip up the system. So be kind to the bot reading your resume. They have feelings too. My resume had the following sections: contact and links, education, skills, experience, but I don't have any so we skip this, projects, and awards. I submitted a few applications and eventually got an interview for one company. I have to say back then I was really lucky because today my job search looks more like this. Anyway, the process started with a typical online lead code style assessment, which was around easy to easy medium on hindsight. I wish I could say I memorized cracking the coding interview so well I could recite it backwards, but honestly I had only done about 10 easy questions then. I decided to use one language, that is Python, and focused on string related problems, and basically threw everything else out of the window. One question involved bracket balancing, which basically meant that for a given string, I have to make sure all opening brackets have its respective closing brackets. If you want, you can pause the video here to think of how you can solve it, but the idea is to use a stack. So once I got the interview, I prepared for these 3 things. Firstly, OOP concepts. I just kept it simple. I learned how to write classes, functions, and things like that. Secondly is data structures and your big O notation. So to practice for that, just keep grinding lead code if you can and know how to analyze the complexity of your solution. Lastly, I trained myself to become a professional storyteller. This is where I practice saying hi 100 times, trying not to be awkward, and refine all of my explanations so as to sound like a professional. For my actual technical interview, I got some string processing question. The coding was done on Google Docs, so the moment I saw the question, I started off by asking some queries about the inputs and the edge cases. This is a good trick as it gives the facade that you are thinking about the question, where you are in fact panicking about developing the right solution. I got stuck a few times and asked some questions aloud, probably sounding like an idiot, but it actually helped me to think as well. When the interview ended, I thought I completely flunked it and had zero expectations, but a few weeks later, the recruiter emailed me and to my surprise, I got the job. From this internship, I actually got exposed to tons of technologies and learned how to deploy something to production, which was pretty cool. I also asked tons of stupid questions, but your internship is really the best time for you to grow, so don't be afraid to do what's best for you to become a good software engineer. Anyway, good luck for your internship hunt and I wish you all the best.